Hey guys, it's your girl Vanessa Cabrera here, and I'm pretty pumped about today's live stream. I always get super excited where I have the ability to talk to one of my past clients and reminisce and go through how it was working together and things like that that I can share with you. So, one of the things is, you guys have always hear all these success stories, right? If you're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn and you're seeing all these success stories coming in that, I made 5K or I made, I just landed another client or I just hit my first 10K month or, things like that. And for me personally, when I would see these success stories, I'd be like, okay, how? How exactly are you doing this, right? That's how I felt. So today, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. If you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know how I throw down. I hold nothing back. I give away my strategies and tips for marketing yourself on social media. And so today, I'm going to talk to one of my past clients who is not a consultant, who is not a speaker. She is not a service-based industry. That's not her business. A lot of people who follow me think Vanessa just works with consultants, coaches, speakers, right? It has to be a service-based. Not true. The system that I work through with my clients on creating a money-making social media marketing plan works for product-based businesses as well, right? What? Yes, it's true. All right, guys. So if you guys are live with us, go ahead and say hello in the comment box so we don't think that we're talking to ourselves here. I see we have 5 live viewers on. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in my client. Hello there, Ronis.
Hey, Vanessa.
How are you, lady in blue?
Great and busy.
Great and busy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I've been having trouble getting time to post on social media because I have so much to do.
I know, that's what you told me. I'm like, isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic that you no longer have time to post on social media because of all the clients that you just landed? It's amazing. So why don't you start off and introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Ronis. I'm an artist and a storyteller is the way I describe myself. I work with people who are looking for a special gift, for a special person in their life, for a special occasion. I draw what I call life maps. They are hand-drawn, custom.
Oh, back it up. It's getting blurry. Back it up one bit. Okay.
Geographical maps that illustrate someone's life. I do letters, numbers, objects. I do corporate ones where I use the corporate logo.
Okay, they're all blurry just because your background's blurry. That's why.
It's hard to, it's going to be hard to see. But if people go to my Facebook page, which is Life Maps, the story of a lifetime, there's lots of them posted, plus lots of video because I love going live. Once I started it, I was like, this is fun.
There was no holding you back.
No, I mean, I don't mind speaking, but I had never done live before, so I was just a little unclear and unsure about how it all worked and how to do the technology and then save it and post it and all of that kind of stuff. So in the beginning, I didn't always save it correctly, but with anything you learn, and it's just fun to do. So sometimes I watch it, I play it back and go, damn, that was pretty good.
You're like, dang, I nailed that live stream. That one was a good one. That's a keeper. Oh my gosh, I love it. So, all right. So Ronis is the owner and founder of Life Maps. And after on, you can post some pictures underneath this live stream because when you were holding them up, they were blurry because you blurred your background. So, but it's a custom gift for anyone. And man, when she first told me about her business, I had never heard of a life map, and she was showing me, and I was like, wow, you're an artist, basically. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is an artist at work. So so when Ronis and I first started working together, first we met where I think you came to one of my speaking events where I was speaking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I believe she joined the ATM.
Right.
Right. So you've been a member of the ATM for quite a while. So, but the real game changer switched for her when you decided to take the Accelerator challenge.
Right.
Right. So walk us through what happened.
Yeah. So what was interesting, and I was just telling Vanessa this earlier, was I have been posting on Facebook since 2011 and got zippity-doo-dah. I mean, nothing. I was posting. And then I'm like, oh, this is such a lot of work. I'm not doing this anymore. So for a couple of years, I really didn't post. And then once I started working with Vanessa, the game changer really for me, and I've told Vanessa this several times, was making me be very clear about what my call to action was, because I never could figure out what it could be. I don't have a freebie I can give away. I don't have a PDF I can send them of something. There was nothing for me to use as give me your name and I'll send you something. I couldn't figure out what to do. And so basically I would post and send people to my website to look at samples on my website. And so Vanessa's advice was, don't send them there. You don't know who went. You've got no way to track them. You're not getting anything from this. So my call to action became, talk to me. You need to book a time to talk to me. And I actually changed my process. My process used to be someone would go to my website, they would email me, and the first thing I would tell them was ask for my guidelines that tell you how it works. And I would send them the guidelines, and then I'd wait to hear from them. Or I'd try to follow up, and then 9 times out of 10, nothing. Now, I don't send them the guidelines. It still says on my site and on my contact page, request them, but when they send me the request, I tell them to book a time to talk to me. And so I did get a scheduler. I put in my time every week. And even if they balk, I had a woman on Facebook who kept messaging me, I don't want to talk.
You told me this. You're like, what do I do? She doesn't want to talk.
She doesn't want to talk. And I just kept telling her why it was important for us to have this conversation, which wasn't going to be an obligation of any kind on her part. And I just needed to explain the process and what the cost would be and what kind of information I would need. So finally she relented, and after our conversation, she said to me, oh, I'm so glad we talked. I'm so excited to do this. I'm like, okay, there's the game changer, because you were right. If I can talk to people, then I can really convey to them the beauty of doing one of these and why it's valuable to them.
Right.
And more likely than not, they're going to want to.
Right.
So that's changed everything.
So we changed up your CTA, which then got you thinking about your sales process, right?
Correct.
Which was your sales process. So talk to us a little bit about, so people are watching like, okay, great. So she changed up her process, but how did you get people to actually see you and book a call, right? So before the sales process comes, you being visible online, so people know.
I post all the time. I mean, I was posting at least twice a day. And I was doing actually the first week I did lives, the first 2 weeks I did a live every day. So I had 10 days in a row of lives. And then I started boosting my posts. But the other thing, and I had boosted them before, but the game changer on that was I never tracked who engaged with my posts. I was like, okay, they liked it, that's nice, maybe I'll hear from them. Okay, now I track every person that likes the page, loves the page, shares the page, comments on the page. And when they've done it a number of times, so I have a whole table of that, when they've done it a certain number of times, then I message them and try to get them to book a call. I also post on other pages. I post on my personal page. I belong to several groups, a women's networking group. I post there. I joined a group of people that do handmade art, and I post on that page. And so people will engage with me there and comment and ask me questions. And then, again, I encourage them to book a time to talk to me. So that's where the difference is. I also, because of what you said to me, went back to email marketing. And I get people through my email marketing that will contact me. And again, I ask them to book a time to talk to me. So I've gotten several orders that way. Some people that I've met before, some people that I have done maps before, have come back for additional ones, or that I've known for years who call me and go, oh, it's finally time to do one of these for my parents, after they've gotten my email blasts. So all of that together, and then that's the start, but then I have to work that. So I have to track who's engaging with me, who called me, who wrote something. Everybody that makes a comment, what a great idea. I immediately write back a comment to them. Suggest, oh, check my page, see more posts, see some of my videos, like my page so that you'll see my posts more frequently. Okay, so I do it. I don't always get anything back, but I always respond as soon as anybody has made a comment. If I can see who shared, sometimes you can't because they mark it private.
Correct.
But if I can see that they've shared, I thank them for sharing. Or I'll go to their page and like the share.
I remember there's one time, now thinking of working with you, and I believe this was during the Accelerator Challenge, which is where we tightened up your social media marketing plan, right? And for you, Ronis, you chose content marketing, right?
Correct.
So, you know, on day 2, I actually go through and say, okay, you can do give tons of examples on how you can bring your product to the online market, right?
Right.
And so you were like, I'm just going to do content marketing. You weren't going to do a webinar. You weren't going to do this. You're just going to do content marketing. But for a while, I know you were getting frustrated because nothing was happening, right? And I'm like, lady, you're just starting. This takes time. As I always say, social media marketing takes time. And I believe there was one time I posted something where just because they're not engaging with you does not mean they are not watching. And I have said this time and time again, when you are consistent, and you guys see how fast Ronis upped her game and was just being consistent and then tracking, right? Having a plan is just the beginning. That's just the start of it, where you're like, okay, so this is how I'm going to go about it. Then once you start implementing, you know, we had to change things up. You were getting frustrated. We had to change your CTA, right? You were still giving out that guide.
So I told you that occasionally I will get a message that someone liked my page. And then I go look on my list of everybody that's liked my post or loved my post. They're not on my list. And so that's when I said to Vanessa, you were right. They're watching. They've never engaged with me before, but they actually went and liked my page without me even inviting them to like the page, because I didn't even know who they were.
Right.
So that's how I know that people are seeing it that aren't necessarily engaging with the posts.
I can't say how many times, and I've told this to my ATM members, I've told this to my clients, and I've told it to my audience before, is that 9 times out of 10 when someone messages me or emails me, I don't know who this person is. They are not on my email list. They may be following me. They may not have taken the challenge. And they've emailed me and said, I've been watching you. I'm ready. You know, things like, and I have no idea where this person came from. But that happens more often than none because I've stuck to my visibility. I am consistent with my social media marketing, right? And to take it a step further after you and I, so Ronis took the Accelerator Challenge in June, right? That was the first cohort, in June, July. And then she became an implementer. She decided to sign up and work with me for 6 weeks, where she's like, okay, I have my plan down, but I want your help in actually implementing it so I could help her through the next 6 weeks. And this is where all the tweaks came in, and the CTA, and you got your email up and running, and it happened very, very quickly. So this woman, can we just celebrate this woman? Last year, Ronis got a total of 4 clients the entire year, right?
Yes, 4 custom orders.
4 custom orders the entire year, right? After the implementer and knowing what she's doing, actually implementing it, how many, I lost count. I thought it was like
10, I got 10 for sure, and there's a few more that are coming. I'm pretty sure of that.
There's more than coming. So, I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. I just want to say that, you know, I used to market myself. People say to me, how do you get your clients? How do you get customers? Say it's from art fairs. I did art fairs starting in 2002. And every summer I would do between 6 and 12 art fairs. And this year I applied to some, and then with COVID, I said, I'm not doing them. So I stopped. And that's when I said, I need to go back to social media because I have to get the word out about what I do. Now, I don't know if I'll ever go back to doing an art fair because I don't need to load all that stuff in my car. I don't need to spend 2 hours setting it all up, hanging all the artwork, sit outside for 2 days. Actually, the whole thing of, the people that are going to contact you that you don't even know are watching. It reminds me actually of sometimes when I would be at an art fair, I would spend a lot of time talking to people, telling them about the maps, and they'd be all excited. 9 times out of 10, they are never the people who actually order one. The person that would call me, they'd say, oh, I saw you at the blah, blah art fair. And I'd say, oh, did we talk? No, I just took one of your brochures as I went by. It's like, no. I'm like, well, why am I spending so much time talking to these people? They're not the ones that actually do it.
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing. The people that are being thoughtful and they're looking and they're, are not necessarily the ones that are overt in doing it. I have to tell this story because I think it's so cute. A woman that I'm going to talk to on Sunday contacted me when she saw there was an article about me in the newspaper, and she saw the article, and she called me and said she wanted to do one for her sister. Mm-hmm. And so she said, I called my sister and I said, I found the greatest gift for you. It's this wonderful artist that does these maps of people's life. And she said, my sister said, oh, I met her. I'm just looking at her stuff on my desk right now. So her sister's all excited.
Oh, and that's
said,
funny.
Things I want in my map. Yeah. So I said, that's really interesting. That I don't know if that had ever happened before, that somebody had heard of me before they actually got one on the map. So it's kind of going to be fun.
Well, I think Ronis had told me when we were testing for this live stream, and she said, that usually where she got clients was through these art fairs. And she's like, I don't have to go nowhere. I'm like, no, you don't.
My time dragging around 48-pound weights and, like, let's dump that. If I can make social media work, and I'm just starting. I mean, before the pandemic, I was going to go to LinkedIn and go after corporate business. And then once I realized that everybody's sheltered at home with family, it seemed like a better thing to go after the personal life maps to share stories and memories. Eventually, I will go after the corporate ones. And so that's a whole other avenue. And then I'll go back to Vanessa to help me with LinkedIn.
Well, I remember that. I remember that conversation. You were thinking going to corporate clients, and by the way, you can still land corporate clients on Facebook as well.
Of course I can, but yeah.
But at the same time, that's always step one is knowing who your audience is, right,
Correct.
And where they're hanging out. So once you got super focused on who you were going after and who you wanted to connect with on social media, and then you decided it was going to be Facebook. Then you go to work every day on Facebook.
Yeah, you better believe it. And I knew already that the majority of my clients were women. So when I target on Facebook, if I do a boost, it's always to women. Almost always. The only time I ever do men is if I do an anniversary map that a guy gave his wife. Then I'll send it to men, hoping I'll give them the idea to get a gift for their wife. But most of my clients, I have men clients, but most of them, the greatest majority are women. So
clients.
As soon as that was the first thing you said, who's your customer, narrowed down, who are you targeting, I knew that it had to be women.
Yeah.
So, and so it's interesting. It's just interesting.
Well, what was funny is, Ronis took the Accelerator Challenge in June. She became an implementer and has been crushing it ever since, which, she doesn't even have time to post on social media because of all the
last
the
2
clients.
weeks have been really tough, yeah.
Because all the clients that she has, right? How ironic is that? But that's where I want to get my clients to, right? Where they're just so, and so I've said this before to ATM members, when we're talking social media marketing and when you're running your business and how to use these tools to build your business, I always say, okay, there's 3 things that you should always be doing in your business. Is number 1, marketing yourself. Marketing never ends. It's a marathon. So once you get that in your head, know that if you're a business owner, this never stops, right? Then number 2 is having a way to get new eyeballs on you, right? Fresh eyeballs, a new set of audience who don't know you yet, right? And then number 3 is serving your clients. Those are the 3 main things that you need to be doing in your business always, right? Always.
And I will take sometimes one day, like you suggested too. I'll take one day just to plan my posts. And so I'll create them all, schedule them, except for my lives, which I'll do that day. But sometimes I've done 2 or 3 weeks. One time when I was going on vacation, I did 3 weeks. It was like, okay, they're going to post every day when I'm away. I'm not going to worry about that.
Right.
Okay. It's been tough the last few weeks. So today I did spend all morning creating some posts for this week. And then I'll have to plan out my lives and which maps I'm going to share. But what's great with some of the content is I'm just reusing some of the things I used back in April and May.
Yes, ma'am.
There's different people watching now, and to tell you the honest truth, some people won't even remember that they already saw it, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Ronis is now working smarter, not harder. I mean, you were going really hard in the beginning, like creating new content and going live, and I've always iterated to the ATM members and my clients is that I want you guys to work smarter, not harder. And so you've created a plethora of content. And this is what the big influencers, even though I'm not a fan of that, but this is what like the big boys do. They constantly repurpose their high engaging content again, right? We always think that we have to create new content, and that's not the case. Your audience doesn't necessarily need new content. What they want is, number 1, have you put an offer on the table? You're doing all this work, and have you put an offer on the table to start landing clients? That's number 1. And number 2, just go back and reuse the stuff that has worked in the past, right?
And today, actually, my post today is a testimonial that I used back in April when I didn't have my scheduling thing. So I added that this time. But it got 165 or 180 engagements, and I thought, okay, that one was really popular. The last one that I did that was really popular that got about as many was one showing a map I did for a guy that was 98 years old. And everybody seemed to really like that one, where I told all the little stories. Now I tell the little stories that are around the map and say, can you find this on the map? And it's kind of fun for people to see, oh, here's the story. Oh, that's how she represented it on
it's
the
kind
map.
of like Where's Waldo for your maps.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of fun. But it also illustrates to people how I take the information they give me and translate that into a map feature.
Yeah.
Because people sometimes don't quite get how that works. And so it's a good way to illustrate that.
So talk to me, was there one, I know you said that the game changer for you was, there's a lot of things that you've hit on of what you and I have worked on for the past couple weeks, months of, knowing your process, knowing your target audience, your CTA. Was there a big game changer for you personally speaking on really the power of social media and the power that you have within you to show up just as you are, right? Not overthinking it. Talk to us a little bit about that.
It gave me confidence. Now, if somebody contacts me and I write to them and I say, schedule a time to talk to me, and I don't hear from them, I call them. If they've contacted me through my website, I have their phone number. I used to just wait. Okay, if they're interested, they'll contact me. Now it's like, what the hell have you got to lose? You just call them, and if they're not interested, they'll say they're not interested. But sometimes people say, oh, thanks so much for calling me.
Yeah.
They're waiting to be invited. They're not going to necessarily make the call themselves. And so I got over the fear of the phone. I never wanted to make calls. Mm-hmm. I always felt uncomfortable calling people. Now it's like, I try anything. I think I told you, I got my alumni magazine, and there's always articles about alumni and what they're doing. And I'm like, well, why shouldn't there be an article about me in the alumni magazine? So I wrote to them, and I sent them a link to my radio interview on WGN Radio, and I sent them a link to the Daily Herald article about me and said, I think you should do an article about me. Well, they wrote back and said they're going to take a pass. They have a lot of things, and alumni write in and blah, blah, blah. But if they find they have time, sometime maybe they'll put it in. I said, that's fine. I'll just write up something to put in the alumni news section of the magazine, and I'll put the link to the interview. And so maybe somebody will go, it's some advertising. But I'm like, it's worth a try. The worst they can say is no, and I'm no worse off than I was before. So I'm not afraid to ask for things anymore. I'm not afraid to ask people, are you interested in doing this? Do you want to follow up? Can I help you? Are you stuck trying to come up with the information? Should we just do the interview right now? And I'll ask you questions and you'll answer me, And some people are very nice. They'll say, well, the rest of my family wasn't all that keen on it. I still love what you do, but, we're going to take a pass this time. I'm like, it's fine. Thanks for letting me know. I just want you to tell me so I can kind of take you off my radar screen. If you're not interested, I move on to somebody else.
Right.
But I'm not afraid to follow up to the conclusion. I'll chase them down until they give me a definite, no, I don't want to do it. Okay, fine, thank you. Have a nice life, bye. So I think that and just the confidence to say, you need to talk to me. You convinced me that you need to talk to people, because if you can talk to them, you will convince them. Don't leave them to their own devices. And so I know that's true. And so it's fun. It's fun to talk to them, but they're always so excited after one woman I knew from the beginning of the conversation, she wasn't interested. Mm-hmm. She wouldn't give me anything coming back. I had pushed her to make the appointment. And right away in my mind, I go, she's not doing this. So I have not contacted her again because I just know she's not going to do it.
Well,
I still have her contact information.
I think that's key. What you just hit on, Ronis, is that you're not afraid.
No, not anymore.
And I think that's so. That's such an important note, because you can be posting, you can be live streaming, you can be sending out emails, you can be boosting, you can be doing all this stuff, right? But you can't always rely on someone to click on that link, right? Another step is going out and actually connecting and reaching out to these hot ass leads, right? They're literally sitting, like you said, you have your hit list, and they're literally sitting there waiting for you. And once you do connect, and this is something that I do as well, when I send out a private message, people are like, oh my gosh, holy cow, I can't believe you're private messaging me, number one. That always cracks me up. I'm like, okay. And number two, they want to connect. They ultimately do want to connect. So that's so vital. And I love the fact that you hit on that you're not afraid to reach out to people, right? Reach out to people and just ask. All they can do is say no. Okay, right. Cool, right?
Exactly. So, exactly. But I was always afraid. Never would push for it before. Yeah. And I know a million sales things where they say you have to ask, you have to close the sale, you have to ask for the business. And I was just like, no, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to. It's like, it's not being pushy. They expressed interest. I'm just saying, following up. Are you still interested in doing this?
There was one person who asked this past challenge. I just ran the Money Making Marketing Accelerator challenge again last week, and there was one person that had asked and said, I just don't want to be too pushy, or I don't want to come off annoying if I'm posting too much. She wasn't even asking for the sale. And I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. That's one thing that is vital in being successful on social media, is that getting over the fear. Half the time people are just so afraid to put themselves out there because I get it, right? We are going to be judged. What are they going to say? What are they going to think of me, right? And so once you push past that fear, that's where the success lies, right? I mean, I have people, and I said this in my live training last week during the challenge. I was like, listen, I'm sure I annoy people. I'm sure I get on their nerves, and I'm always posting about my business. I don't give a damn, right? They're not in my shoes. They have no clue what I'm trying to do with my business, and it's ultimately helping you. You know what I'm saying? I'm helping Ronis. So once you get past that fear and just showing up as who you are and how you can help people,
but just to remember, everybody doesn't see every one of your posts.
Right.
So you could be posting 5 times a day, and what person might only see one post. that day. It's not like you're emailing them all the time. That I find annoying, and I won't email blast a lot. I promise people I'll only do twice a month at the most. So either I do every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. I find emailing annoying when I get one every day or 2 or 3 a day from somebody. Then I get out of that list. I don't want to be annoying that way. I don't worry about my posts being too many. Yeah. In fact, people in one of my women's networking groups or people from the chamber who never interact with me necessarily, when I see them or I talk to them on a Zoom networking, they go, "Man, you're crushing social media." Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
So they are seeing them, which is great.
Yes, yeah.
So.
Well, I'm super proud of you, Ronis.
I'm super proud of me.
I am so proud of you of how far you have come, how quickly things have changed if you stayed consistent, right? There's always bumps in the road here and there, and that's just entrepreneurship. But man, I mean, once you started live streaming and I would see you every single day, I'm like, this chick is not messing around. She is not, she came to play. And these are the types of women entrepreneurs that I work best with, right? Like, you have to come to play, and you're running a business. We need to make sales, right? You can't spend all damn day on Canva making these cute social media images if it's not going to lead to an ultimate sale, right? So, so congratulations, Ronis. Like I said, super, super proud of you for doubling your clientele in the 8 weeks that you and I worked closer together. So if anyone has questions for Ronis on her life maps or whatnot, you guys can go ahead and drop them in the comments. And Ronis, I will see you inside the ATM, my friend.
Yes, we will.
Yes,
thank you.
Ma'am. You're welcome. All right, guys. So like I said, I was super psyched to bring on Ronis. She's no different than you, right? She was learning this stuff as she went along. What she didn't know is what she didn't know. Once we started working closer together, this is how we tighten up her social media marketing, what made sense for her showing up as who she is, right? So I wanted to let you guys know that the Implementer, my 6-week program, is beginning again. So if you are still struggling with your social media marketing and not knowing what the hell you're doing, right? How you're going to land clients on social media, which social media platform is right for you, no plan for your content, you're just posting just to post. This is exactly why I created this program. And like I said, a lot of people think that I just work with service-based entrepreneurs. Yes, the majority of my clientele is service-based entrepreneurs, but this program, my system, works with product-based entrepreneurs. Clearly, as you can see, what Ronis offers is unbelievable. It's custom designed gifts, right? So I'm going to put the information in the comments right now. Again, you guys can check out that link. And if you're wondering whether or not the Implementer program is right for you or not, go ahead and you can schedule a time to talk to me about it. I've cleared my calendar for the rest of the week. The Implementer starts Monday, and there's more detailed information on what it is. A lot of people are like, what is it? Vanessa, how do you consult? Things like that, right? And so, like I said, it's a 6-week consulting experience where we're going to tighten up your social media marketing plan, or create one if you don't have one, and then we're going to implement it. That's exactly why I named the program the Implementer. You can plan all day, right? You can plan to do this, that, and the other. You can have these big ideas for how you're going to use social media to market to your audience, to market your business. But if you don't implement it, you will never know the outcome of how it's going to work, right? And so the clients that personally work with me throughout implementation obviously get my social media marketing strategies. It's custom designed for them. Just like I said with Ronis, it was very different than many of my other clients, because this is not a cookie cutter program. I'm not going to give you a template, a script, and be like, okay, this is going to work, right? You need to go through the 6 weeks with me so I can see what your plan is, what your business goals are, right? How much money you actually want to make from your social media marketing. I will hold you accountable and push you ask my past clients, lovingly push you to get it done and to show up more on social media. All right, guys. So it starts Monday. I'm super psyched. I am looking for my next success story. So if you guys are willing to do the work that it takes to put yourself out there, to have the courage to show up as who you are, and know that you're able to help so many of these people online, go ahead, click on the link, schedule some time to talk with me, and let's throw down. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you online. Peace.